Alright, let's see what we have here. I've only drafted the format once, but it really seems like you need to commit to an archetype pretty early. Um, Fairies is really strong if you can get it. You need a lot of Pester Mites and stuff. Riftbolt's great for the Storm deck, and Search is great for the ramp style decks. Rebels is also an option. I don't like it very much. Maelstrom Pulse is a great removal spell, but it kind of forces me into two colors, and there isn't an amazing archetype in those colors. I mean, you can do a control style thing. So I think I end up picking this Search for tomorrow here, even though it's one of the weaker cards, because it puts me in a position to draft one of the archetypes I like, which is kind of like the mid-rangey ramp style card. If I'm in Goblins, this guy is amazing. People underestimate Dredge as an archetype. So Stinkweed Imp actually isn't a terrible choice. This guy's great in Giants. He's really what makes the Giants deck go around. But my experience has been, and again, this is limited experience, that Penumbra Spider is actually one of the best cards in this set because it invalidates so many different strategies. The question is it going to lap? Do people recognize how good it is? Or do I take this Pyroclasm effect to defeat the Thallid style strategies? And I think I actually take the Thundercloud Shaman here. It's just so powerful. And kind of get into a green-red rampy mode here. And we're actually rewarded. We can go two different ways here. This is almost always going to come back because no one's in a giant style stuff. This puts us in kind of like a mid-rangey style deck where we just grind out a lot of card advantage. And again, I hate seeing these guys pass, but I think we'll pick up more. Whereas this would put us in like a red-white Giants archetype, and this is the reason to play Giants, but I think we want to go for a mid-rangey ramp style deck. A lot of tough choices again. I just can't. This guy's probably the best card here, but this can be an absolute blowout in this format. And I think we'll see another giant Duskwasp or two. Like, these suspend flyers are just so strong. But I want to take the card that counters those, because it's a bear too. And it was really good in Time Spiral Block. And fortunately, we have here the other card that kind of makes the mid-range green deck go round, which is this card. This is really strong, and it really is the reason, or one of the reasons I ended up picking the Search for tomorrow early. This is one of the other reasons. The old 5/5 for 4. So now we have kind of a confusing, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Blinding Beam's so strong. You can either take something for fixing, not great synergy with the rest of the deck. Perilous Research actually isn't terrible if we get some Thalids and stuff. Walker the Grove is a serious threat, but so is Errant Ephemera, and I'm really surprised to see this card this late. It may make me, it tempts me to go to blue-green, but I'm going to stick with the Walker. I'm going to See if we can pick up some Rift Sweepers to deal with the Ephemerans gun around. Wow, this is a really strange draft. It's unlikely that I'm going to play this card, but, well, let's see here. The Imp is here too. No one's in that kind of niche dredge archetype right now. The other option here is Brute Force. I'm not really convinced I'm in red. Well, I guess that's that. In this kind of deck, Thallid's actually not terrible. I'm shocked to see a Thirst of Knowledge here. Ivory Giant's not a terrible card. Drag Down's a really strong removal spell, but I think if we're going to go deep, I think we should go really deep. Yeah, I can't pass the Drag Down. That's so late. It's a decent removal spell. Which lets us pick up the Stinkling Imp here. And we're potentially in position for a dredgy. Wow. A little surprised to see what's lapping here. I'm not convinced if I'm in red or black, but we've got some really strong green. This card's actually really not bad in this format, has been my experience, but let me take the Land Cycler. This card's actually not terrible, especially if we get Thallid's later, and we'll get better Thallid's than just Thallid. A little surprised to see that guy late. Well, that's not how I expected that draft to go so far, but it's really not bad. I kind of wish I'd picked up the Worm Harvest now. Pact of Negation. Do I need Pact of Negations? I actually don't know what that's worth. Let me take a look here. Pact of Negation. It's only being purchased for 2. That's not really enough to justify just taking it for what it is. So we're really between Nantuko Shaman and Spore Sower Thallid. We have a lot of 4-drops already, but this guy is really strong. And his effect is unique relative to the Shaman. See, now we do have... Now we're really making the choice here. Do we go with the Worm Harvest and pick up some dredge stuff? I think we do. And get kind of a dredgy, Thallid-y thing and try to pick up some more Echoing Courages. It's either that or we take the Tribal Flames as removal. I don't know. This kind of seems weaker than just beating down. The more I say it out loud, so I think we grab the Tribal Flames here. See if we can get a Search for Tomorrow or 2. Interesting. Lotus Bloom. Is that worth anything? No. It's not. So, this white that's going around is really strong. I think Thundering Giants to pick here if we're going to be in red. Even though Sylvan, stuff like Sylvan Bounty we can still pick up late. That's really the first Storm card we've seen the whole draft. That's interesting. Granting Ignis gives us decent ramp potential, but I think what this deck needs with the curve pretty high as it is, it's kind of mid-rangey. This Shell Jeweler looks really strong for us. And probably not playing that Stinkweed in. May still splash the drag down. A decent fixing. This curve looks atrocious right now, though. We have a pack and a half to go, so we'll see what happens. Ooh, interesting. The Deadeye is a great sideboard card. Obviously, Reach of Branches is incredibly strong. So if you get to the point where you have 10 mana and 2 Reaches in your sideboard, it's very difficult to lose the game. So I think I take another Reach here, even though I keep passing these Shamans thinking when I get more, there's going to come a time where I don't. But Torrent of Stone is such a strong removal spell, but we're getting greedy enough. I've got to take this Reach now. And gleefully pick up this Duskwasp here. And hopefully we can pick up another Penumbra Spider or two, because the Fairies archetype is really strong. I'm glad I didn't take the Pestermite. We haven't seen anything from it. It's so popular. Everyone's been writing articles about how strong it is. But it really, really struggles against Penumbra Spiders, because there just aren't a lot of effective ways to deal with it outside of Echoing Truth. And you basically need like a Sign of It and a Latchkey Fairy to trade with the front side, and then you still have to deal with the back side if you don't have like a Cloud Skate or something. Whew. What a pack. And this removal spell is so strong. And I know we've seen a lot of them go, but if you hit 6 mana, this is amazing. But when I played Time Spiral Block, you know, suspending that on turn 1 is like having a dragon. And I'm greedy. So we're going, wow. We get Torn of Stone back anyway. We're going so deep into green. I really think this card is stronger than that, but I can't do anything with it now. I probably won't play a Thallid, but I may. Because we have 21 cards down there already, and we're only in pack 2. Hating a common just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's actually a decent removal spell. I don't think we're going to be in an archetype that really wants to be playing Mogg War Marshals. Gaining 8 life isn't spectacular either, but... well, the clock keeps getting me. This is a decent sideboard card. I wouldn't be too upset if I had to play it. And so is this. I'm a little surprised to see Torn of Stone here. Obviously our curve is absolutely atrocious, so need to focus on cheap spells and or cards like Searching Tomorrow and Kodama's Reach. I mean, the curve's not quite as bad as it looks, because really you're popping that guy out at 1, that guy out at 2. There's still too much up here. So we're still waiting on a couple people. Interesting. A Blood Moon. That's like $4 in real life. Let's see if that has any value. Buys Blood Moon. A bot buys it for 3.2. Human sells it for 8. It's actually not terrible. No, my passing up some really strong cards for it. But I do need some Blood Moons, and I think I'd have to rare draft that. It really substantially weakens my draft. But, ooh. What a pack. Well, this is a tough, tough pick. This guy is so strong. At the same time, this can win the game on the spot, especially with Kodama's Reach and Search. I don't have a ton of little guys, though. Kitchen Finks, Search Hard Tomorrow. I think what I assume is Death Rattle is an amazing removal spell in black. I think I get greedy and I take the rare, and I have to discipline myself after this pick to pick cheaper cards. Like here, I just have to take the Kodama's Reach. And we may end up in mono green splash removal here. 2 Torrents and a Drag Down. Thundercloud Shaman, even though it's double red, is really good removal too. There's a Spider. Unfortunately, the same pack as a Glacial Ray. It's always these tough picks. I am going to probably run all these cards, so I think I take the Ray here. Gotta stay true to my intentions. This card is tough to beat, but I'm not really in a deck style that is Moldrifying Cloaking all the time. I think I just take the 3-2 because I need to play it as a blocker sometimes, as strong as the Cloak is. So if I remove the Brute Force, maybe even the War Marshal, Echoing Courage is not great in this deck. If someone pulls a lot of those, there's going to be trouble. Yeah, it's basically a drag down here. It'll be a -3/-3 every time I land it. I don't have a ton of card advantage though. I got this guy, and that's about it. So I probably don't end up running Sylvan Bounty because I have so much other fixing. And I'm probably not going to run the Sundering Giants either. This guy's even as a mini Pyroclasm, I think he's really strong. That's so greedy. So greedy. Now the question is, do I take another one of these guys? Or do I take the Spider, just because it's so tough to get through those spiders? I think I take the Spider. And that's not a... If I had more red in the deck, I'd be tempted to take the Thundercloud Shamans. Those guys are so strong, but this draft has gone in such a strange direction. Oh my gosh, everything I thought about picking over the Blood Moon is still here. This is obviously amazing. Pirate Spell Bombs, fine removal. Since I already have a Glacial Ray, I'd probably take the other Glacial Ray, even though the Baloth is just amazing too. This is a really strange draft. Oh my gosh. I don't think I dare let that go around. Thallid Germinator is pretty decent. This is a really strange draft. But again, I don't know too much about the format, so it could be I'm just going down some strange path. That's kind of irrelevant. This card's just super annoying. Well, yeah. What a strange draft, and I think that's almost entirely the responsibility of my early picks, where I prioritized the green, but it didn't turn out terribly. I don't know how good Walker the Grove is as a 7. I mean, it's a 7/7, and I've got 2 reaches and a Search for Tomorrow, so it actually might be pretty decent. But I'm at 28 cards, so I need to... Really what? I mean, with Search, Reach, I could probably get away with 16 lands instead of 17, but I may just splash a nonsense color for the trump, and that's... Well, with the 2 Reach of Branches, that seems pretty loose. So the question is, first of all, how good is Thundercloud Shaman in this deck? Because it actually does damage to all my creatures. And if I don't have Verdaloth out, it kills my guys. So I think I have this giant package I can bring in if I need to, but it's not amazing here. That's not quite strong enough. This guy's going to get suspended at 1. He's going to get suspended at 2. So really it's just a Reach of Branches. This can be cast in 5 for the 4/4, so that would make a curve look like this. But then the question is, if I've got to cut 3 cards, what do I cut? This is an absolute necessity against a really aggressive deck. This guy is... He's a little weak, but... With as few creatures as I have, I might actually cut the Trumpet Domains, because it only is nuts. It seems so wrong to cut it, though. Because even if I've just got like 4 Reach of Branches tokens, all of a sudden I'm swinging in for 20. These really thin my library out well. I think ultimately this is one of the weakest cards that I have. It could be wrong to cut. And I didn't cut the Trump, okay. I thought I already put it down. So this basically ensures that I never miss land drops, but I've only got 11 creatures. Well, these guys are... I've got 13 creatures, really. So I can't really cut another creature. If I have to cut something, I probably cut the one drag down, because I have a decent amount of removal. I think this is the list we end up with. This looks really bizarre, and I don't know if it's decent at all. And I have so many things I want to run from the sideboard. Like, it seems bizarre to me with so much fixing. I'm not running a drag down. It's just basic removal. But I think we're all in on the green plan. And I can bring the other salad stuff in and tromp against decks that have good targeted removal. I've got some decent stuff against fairies. The Thundercloud Shaman just wrecks it. I've already got my 2 Penumbra Spiders. That was kind of the goal I had going into the draft. Syncledium's decent against fairies too, and I've got the Deadeye, so we'll see what they recommend here. Oh, we get these nice, cool-looking lands too. Look at that. Draft any card in the entire Modern format, and I end up getting 13 forests in my deck. That says a lot. I'm going to go up to 4 mountains, because it's really bad for my deck if I don't hit that red early when I need a Glacial Ray. Actually, I'm going to even go up as far as 511. That's way over budgeting for the amount of red I have. But first, I may want to sack 2 mountains to splice onto Arcane in this crazy circumstance that I'm envisioning. And second, there are decks, goblins, fairies, and stuff where I just may need that early Glacial Ray, and I can't afford to miss it. So I think this is what we submit, and we'll see how terrible it is. My guess is it's not great. My 4-drop slot is about as clogged as can be. People are going to be playing the best cards of Modern. You know, I pass stuff like Maelstrom Pulse for... What I pass a Maelstrom... I passed a Maelstrom Pulse for a Search for tomorrow, which is retrospectively pretty stupid, because Search is a common. I was thinking it was an uncommon for some reason. But, you know, it's not like I needed the Maelstrom Pulse. Got 4 on here anyway, so... Take the mistake for what it is, and hopefully no one casts it against my kicked Vertaloth. So now we have to wait for all these slow people to finish their decks. It's probably pretty hard to make a deck when you've got a bunch of good cards. So if I wind up against a lot of quicker flyers, I do have... That's decent against artifacts, but... I've got some decent stuff against them. It's unlikely I'm going to want to play Echoing Courage even with Vertaloth, but I can see times where I'd bring it in. It's a decent combat trick, but the more powerful the format is, the less powerful combat tricks get. Because it's not like, we're not drafting a set where it's like Avacyn Restored, where it's like 9,000 creatures and 1 piece of removal, and if you play, you know, you can play 15 enchantments on something because it just wasn't a well-designed set.